Do people refer to you as one of the nicest, kindest people they know? Are you the one that they can always count on? Are you the go-to person for family members, friends, and neighbors? What about at work? Are you the faithful employee that's constantly working late, taking on last minute projects, and canceling needed time off to meet the demands of others? Being concerned about the needs and feelings of others is a noble trait. Having an amazing work ethic and pride in what you do is honorable, however, not at all cost. Dr. Phil McGraw, you know, the host of the television show Dr. Phil? He's famous for saying, "We teach people how to treat us." How do we do that? By what we allow. I'm going to go a step further and add a few more that I came to grips with while on my journey. What I allow is what will continue. What I allow is what I encourage. What I allow is what I enforce. Now, friends, this is where we've got to get real. I mean, really, it's time for us to have a come to Jesus moment. And this is it right here. Now, I want you to ask yourself the following questions and be honest. Do I find myself saying yes when I want to say no? Do I fear displeasing people, even if that's at the expense of my own feelings and needs? Do I feel guilty when I physically can't do something for someone? In relationships, am I always the giver and my partner is the taker? You know, creating an imbalanced, one sided, never getting my needs met relationship? Do I overcommit myself at the request of others? Do I often feel resentful, even dismayed, because of constantly receiving way less than what I give? If you answered yes to more than one of these questions, you're unwittingly putting yourself in a constant state of crisis, a constant state of stress and panic, trying to be all things to all people. You know, the hero, the savior, the people pleaser, or just being the kind person. We have to take full stock and ownership of the role we play when we interact with people. If gone unchecked, we run the risk of developing severe health issues such as anxiety, low self esteem, ulcers, feelings of worthlessness, increased chances for a heart attack or stroke, loss of appetite, depression, and sadly to the extreme, suicide. Isn't it interesting? When we were toddlers, we'd scream the word no from the top of our lungs while running in the opposite direction if we were confronted with something we didn't want to do. Now, because of conditioning and the pressures and demands of life, as adults, we literally have to teach ourselves how to say no. At first, I'll admit, it feels uncomfortable. But once you begin to say no, each time you do, you'll receive a piece of your power back. You'll begin to feel powerful instead of powerless. It teaches us to stand up for ourselves. It was Dr. King who once said, "A man can't ride your back unless it's bent." Hmm. I know it's easier said than done, and we can come up with hundreds of scenarios where no two outcomes are the same. But I'd like to share with you 3 power moves that helped me along my journey, and I'm confident that they'll give you the same strength and courage to say no. Power move number 1, set boundaries. Knowing your personal worth, values, and priorities helps you to put up the no sign. Set firm boundaries and teach people to stay within the limits. Don't draw a line, then step back and draw another one. Your boundaries are not up for negotiation. Stand in your power, even if your heart is racing, your knees are knocking, and your hands are shaking. Standing in your power doesn't mean you won't feel fear. Ask any soldier, policeman, or fireman if they ever feel fear. They'll assure you that they do. But once they get in position, they stand in their power, feet planted firmly in conviction, with a determination to get things done. So stand in your power. Don't back down. Let folks know by your unwavering stance that you are a force to be reckoned with. Power move number 2. Recognize you have a choice. Whether you're the hero, the savior, the people pleaser, or just the overarching kind person, what all of these individuals feel from time to time is like a victim, as if they have no choice but to say yes to everyone in need at any time. Remember, life is about choices. You have a choice to say yes or no. Be true to yourself and choose the answer you truly feel. Feel the uncomfortableness in saying no and do it anyway. Ask yourself the question, who's more important? Just in case you need a reminder, you are. Lastly, power move number 3. Give it time before you give an answer. This was a huge one for me. People have no problem putting you on the spot. In fact, it has been said that in enough time, people know us better than we know ourselves. They know which buttons to push, the catchphrases to say, the shame, guilt, and insecurities to swirl around in the air, to get what they want out of us. I had to learn that I didn't have to give an answer immediately. I became really good at saying, let me get back to you. And you know what? It works. It gave me time to consider if I really wanted to commit to their request. It allowed me to have the necessary time to decipher if I'll be left to feel valued and appreciated or used and taken advantage of. Trust your intuition and give the answer that honors you. If you find that your answer is a resounding no, find the way that works best for you to convey it. It doesn't matter whether it's in person, via email, text, letter, or voicemail message. They will be shocked and try many tactics and verbal gymnastics to get you to change your mind. Don't get too wordy or bogged down in explaining to them why you're telling them no. End the conversation and disengage from their mischief. Dear ones, you are a loving, beautiful, and kind soul. Being an empath, altruistic, and giving is a blessing, not a curse. Choose to free yourself from unnecessary stress and anxiety. Set healthy boundaries. Recognize you do have a choice. And remember to give yourself time before you give an answer. Then, whether you're a soprano, tenor, or alto like me, find your voice, stand in your power, and tell them no, unapologetically. Thanks so much for stopping by. You are appreciated. Until we chat again, keep shining.